Bandits kill one vigilante, abduct many in fresh Niger attack. National Human Rights Commission panel awards 289 million compensation to 74 NSAS victims. Flooding cut off Akwanga Lafia bridges in Nasarawa. And Russia's President Putin Xi to meet amid Central Asian Security Summit in Uzbekistan. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. One vigilante has been killed while another sustained severe gunshot injuries when bandits in their numbers reportedly attacked Ebo community in Lapa local government area of Niger State. Daily Trust gathered that several villagers were also abducted in series of attacks on the surrounding communities. It is reported that bandits arrived the Ebo community at about 10:45 in the night and went straight to the vigilante office, where they killed one of the vigilantes and shot another on the leg. The report said the attack came 4 days after the neighboring communities of Bada and Yaba, border communities to the Federal Capital Territory, were attacked, where one person lost his life while several residents fled their homes. Residents said attackers also raided Angwandajin Gwamna in Bada community and kidnapped 5 persons before moving to Zago village and Lafi and Zago, where they operated for hours. The bandits were said to have operated for about 5 hours and abducted over 10 people. Niger State Police Command DSP Wasiu Abiodun could not be reached as at the time of filing this report. The Nigerian Army has kick-started an operation named Still Waters to ensure crisis-free Yuletide seasons across the country. In Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, the 22 Armored Brigade Nigeria Army Sobi Barracks also kick-started the exercise, which is to refresh the officers' knowledge of battle mapping strategies. According to Brigadier General Adedayo Babalola, the Still Waters exercise is to prepare towards the forthcoming festive season. The routine was organized by the Nigerian Army across all 36 states of the Federation to ensure safety of lives and property. Brigadier Babalola said the Army has put a lot in place to ensure that Nigeria becomes a safe haven. The General further affirmed the Army's commitment and readiness to partner with other security agencies to ensure peaceful election process come 2023. Moving on, the National Human Rights Commission has awarded 289 million in second compensation to 74 beneficiaries of police brutality. The compensation is awarded by the panel set up by the federal government in November 2020 following the End SARS protest, which was triggered by nationwide allegations of police brutality. The panel was directed to investigate the allegations of violations of human rights by the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad and other police units. The chair of NHRC Governing Board, Salamatu Suleiman, congratulated the petitioners for their belief in the human rights mechanism in Nigeria.
Arising from their operations. We call upon Nigerians to continue to uphold their rights and make good use of the offices of the Commission in all the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT to report violations of their rights, to follow up, and together we can assure you that we'll work to ensure that the respect and enjoyment of human rights becomes the centerpiece of our democracy.
We are here today to award compensation to 74 beneficiaries, and these beneficiaries are drawn from different aspects of the subject matter of the panel. And by this subject matter, I would want to just emphasize that out of the 74, 25 are for extrajudicial killings, 4 are for enforced disappearances. 25 are for torture, inhuman, and degrading treatment. 16 are for illegal arrest and prolonged detention. And 4 are for confiscation of property, extortion, and threat to life. In terms of the Naira and Kobo, how much are we paying out today? By the approval of the National Human Rights Commission and the decision of the Independent Investigative Panel, we are paying out today the total sum of 289,384,094 Naira.
It has been 7 months since ASU began industrial action, which has crippled the already fragile education sector. The prolonged industrial action, however, had frustrated both parties involved. Noel Sampson reports that due to the failed negotiations between the federal government has taken ASU to an industrial court to find resolution.
Pleas have been made by parents, students, and stakeholders in both the private and public sectors on the ongoing industrial action, but seem to have failed on the FS as both parties are adamant. And with the recent development of dragging ASU to court by the federal government, it appears solution to these pending issues could be far-fetched, which can lead to more decay on the education sector. These and other reasons prompted a non-state actor, the AYGF, to organize a press conference urging both parties to come to a common ground so that the industrial action can come to an end. The Director General of the organization made this plea in a statement. He highlighted the negative effect of the strike on the students, parents, and the country at large. He said this will put a heavy burden on the already fragile education sector.
We owe the country the responsibility, the stakeholders the responsibility to be able to contribute to the process of resolving the ongoing ASU strike in the country. The strike is not helping. Is not going to get our students the desired educational access. And so to that extent, it becomes incumbent and instructive for all the warring parties to come back to the negotiation table. Our students, our young people today are stranded. Some of them are already traumatized. Some of them are passing through a lot of emotional and psychosocial, issues already because they have been left at home for so long, and they're already exposed. They're already vulnerable to all, challenges and social and even insecurity. The whole world is not going to wait for us because ASU in Nigeria is on strike, and Nigeria shouldn't be left behind in terms of development milestones, particularly in the education sector.
It is paramount for both parties to come to an amicable agreement before it is too late for the students. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A heavy rainfall that lasted for hours, accompanied by flash floods, have cut off half of the bridge that connected Nasarawa and Plateau states in Akwanga. This has come in barely 48 hours after same heavy rain that caused flooding washed away half of the bridge on the expressway between Isa Mustafa Agwai Polytechnic and Bukansidi Lafia, the state capital. The collapsed bridge near Jinjin Hotel in the heart of Akwanga is also used by motorists coming from Kaduna, Plateau, Bauchi, Gombe, amongst others who are heading to Abuja. According to reports, heavy-duty vehicles have been diverted to narrow streets, while the other half of the bridge that is still intact is used by smaller vehicles and motorcycles, which the village head described as a death trap. All efforts to speak with the Akwanga local government chairman failed. Environmental and sanitation stakeholders have called for attitudinal change and awareness as solutions to the challenges of fecal sludge evacuation in Nigeria. This was part of the discussions at an interaction in Bauchi State to mitigate the dangers that come with the practice. Adamu Imam completes the story.
The World Health Organization Global Statistics on Sanitation Safety Plan 2016 shows that about 2.4 billion people have access to sewer, 2.6 billion requires fecal sludge management, while 1.9 billion people suffer lack of any services. To address the above challenges, experts say there's a need for people to change their attitude.
To change the attitude of the people, first of all, it is for you to educate them. And you can see now we have an interactive session, having a workshop with the key stakeholders. This is part of the sensitization. The second one is for you to look at it from the religious background, because we all have beliefs that our religious leaders tell us the truth. We are going to penetrate that and use that as an opportunity so that the religious leaders can talk to their people to change that attitude so that we can be able to manage fecal sludge.
Fecal sludge evacuation in Bauchi is, at the moment, is poor because the service providers and the people or the people that are working manually in evacuating this fecal sludge, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have equipment, and they are poorly guided.
Some of the participants, especially the local evacuators, attributed the challenges faced by them to poverty, but the civil society representatives have a contrary view. We decided to engage in this practice because of the prevalent economic downturn in the country. Doing this is better than resorting to begging. In these circumstances, our choices are limited because there are very few opportunities for decent jobs. That is even the reason we don't have safety tools for the job. Some of us borrow them, while others do not. That's how we found ourselves.
They make money from this business. They make, a lot of money from this business because most of the pit latrines, owners of the pit latrines are in the majority most urban areas and even in the rural areas. So these business operators make hell of money from that, and certainly they have to protect themselves by wearing hand gloves, boots, and face masks. But for them to claim that because of poverty, that's why they will not buy all these essential needs for carrying out their, daily businesses, I think that is an act of carelessness by most of them.
Meanwhile, the stakeholders agree that collaborative effort is needed to manage the situation for the safety of the people. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
People living with disability have lent their voices to the need for the federal government to increase the number of people with special needs in the cash grants for vulnerable groups. They made the appeal at the launching of cash disbursement to 5,679 people on the Social Investment Program in Bauchi. Adamu Imam has the details of this report.
The program is a federal government initiative aimed at reducing the financial burden on some vulnerable groups, especially among women across the country. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, affirmed that the program will reach identified beneficiaries across the country. Ilya Ismail and Princess Marcus are people with the special needs and beneficiaries of the program.
Life is very difficult to us. Things are very, very difficult. So with this, we support ourselves in terms of financial and health and some other things. So we're saying thank you, and we'll use this money in such a way that will benefits us, will be used to us also.
Women who represent a larger percentage of the beneficiaries are positive that the interest-free loan will improve their social well-being.
We are also happy because it's help. They really help us so that we can establish something to be doing in this state. I pray that God will continue to strengthen them and bless them in the mighty name of Jesus.
More than 4,000 farmers, traders, and market women have received the loans under the second phase of the program known as JIP 2.0. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching Trust TV News Update coming up. Rivers residents lament fuel scarcity. Details of the story after the break. Stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update and top stories. Bandits kill one vigilante, abduct many in fresh Niger attack. National Human Rights Commission panel awards 289 million naira compensation to 74 NSAS victims. Moving on, there are indications prices of foodstuff in Adamawa would rise beyond comprehension if substantive agreement is not reached between state government, Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and cattle dealers over imposed internal generated revenue on products in the state. The unions are protesting 5,000 naira per cow and 300 naira per bag of grain imposed on them by the state governor Ahmad Umar Fintiri. Salis Lawal has the details.
A release from Adamawa State Board of Internal Revenue indicated that the state government has increased the revenue for cattle from 200 naira to 5,000 naira, while a bag of grain, which was 20 naira, is now increased to 300 naira. Other animals are horses and donkeys from 500 naira to 10,000 naira. The release also indicated that revenue to be paid for sheep, goats and pigs, which was 100 naira, has been increased to 500 naira. This development has shaken the three major cattle markets and most of the grassroots markets in Adamawa, as many see it as an anti-people initiative.
This 5,000 naira, we cannot accept. We cannot agree to this. This is very high, like it's set off for our business. He need to destroy our business completely, totally. We cannot accept like that. This is destroying, is set off. This is set off for this illegality increasing. Increasing from 200 naira, we increasing 300 naira. It's okay. This is our stand. If the government never accept like that, we cannot agree to accept to increasing anything kobo from this.
This decision that Adamawa State has been taking, it will not. There's no any businessman that can survive on it. There's no any cattle dealer that can do this and survive again and continue and handle the business again. It can be. If not, we're going to disassociate the Adamawa State government from our business at all. We'll pack to the everywhere in this country and do our business. There's many different types of states that has the cattle and they are inviting us.
This development has led to the death of many cows whose worth is in millions of naira, according to the union's leadership. They said they cannot continue to see their members suffer in silence.
We gathered here to show our grievances. Paying 5,000 naira as a revenue per cow is not possible, and we cannot afford it. We are urging the state governor to review this law for the betterment of all.
It's been a week now that we have not traded our products. The government promised to renovate the market and nothing has been done yet. We had a meeting with the government delegation where we urged them to forget about the issue of clearance on the road. Rather, they should concentrate on collecting their revenue. Today is the 7th day that our people are still in custody of their products without marketing them, of which such has caused huge loss. So this is the reason why we decided to call on our people from different locations here in order to forward our complaints. We are pleading with the government to look into the matter.
Stakeholders believed reviewing the new IGR law will go a long way towards solving the soaring revenue crisis between state government and the unions. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Motorists and residents in Port Harcourt have appealed to government at all levels and relevant authorities to find out the root cause of continuous rise in price and scarcity of petroleum products in rivers. They made the call as residents buy fuel at 250 naira per litre. The report.
Some residents who were on queue to purchase petroleum product at the NNPC in Port Harcourt town complained that they have stayed so long without any hope of getting the fuel, while some who could not bear the queue are patronizing the black market where prices are exorbitant. They urged the government to, as a matter of urgency, intervene as all economic activities are beginning to be halted due to fuel scarcity. They called on the government to also resolve the pending issues between security operatives on highways and petroleum tanker drivers who were said to have parked their vehicles by the roadside along Aba Road for over a week now. The tanker drivers complain of how the security operatives have been allegedly extorting money from them.
It's 5:30 in the morning. We are on this queue trying to get fuel. Before yesterday, I bought it at the rate of 200 naira at Eliozu. But there is fuel, and they are holding this fuel because of the issues they are passing through. Whenever they want to load, they are paying excess money to the security agents, which is affecting their product. And we, the masses, are feeling the heat. Not even there, the masses are feeling the heat.
Just because day before yesterday, we started hearing about the fuel price will increase. Yesterday, I bought it from Air Force, 250 naira per litre. It's very bad, and I'm a commercial driver. I find it difficult to make it because I bought for a very high price.
It's very bad for what they are doing to us, and the election is coming. All these things we're supposed to have them free. We're not supposed to suffer before we have common fuel. And this is one of the important things in life that the common need to have. So what we are saying is, let them release this thing anywhere they are keeping it.
The government are not helping matter. Instead of them to make things to be easy for the masses, so for us to go front, we are going backward every time. We will not hear that we are going forward. We are going backward.
It's getting out of hand. Like, see, we have been in hold up since, not because of they don't want to be poor, but because of the fuel scarcity. Even the fuel station has been filled, and still yes, nobody will be able to get fuel. We are still waiting. And the price of the fuel has increased. In fuel station, we do buy fuel now 200, 300. Outside black market are telling us 500. No, we need help. We need help from the federal government. Let them look into this matter.
As at the time of filing this report, most petroleum fuel stations in Port Harcourt were closed, and those open have long queue.
As federal lawmakers get set to resume plenary session on the 20th of September 2022, with renovation work ongoing at the chamber, a makeshift lower chamber has been provided pending the conclusion of the renovation work. House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, as part of preparations for the resumption, inspected the makeshift chamber. The report.
Renovation of the lower chamber, among other areas of the House of Representatives, commenced in August, shortly after the federal lawmakers embarked on its long recess. The Speaker is optimistic that giant strides have so far been made, and Nigeria will at the end of the day be proud to have a state-of-the-art green chamber that matches its counterparts around the world.
So I'm quite impressed with the work so far. I would encourage them to double the pace, because as it is, unfortunately or fortunately, I mean, this is not for the benefit of even this 9th Assembly. It's for the benefit of the 10th Assembly. And it's not going to be ready, the old chamber will not be ready until sometime in August next year. So we're talking about close to a year. And that tells you the level of work that is going on.
On the capacity of the temporary chamber, the Speaker assured that it will accommodate all members and staff, adding that President Muhammadu Buhari will present the 2023 budget by the first week of October.
You can see the configuration. It's just not this place, it's also upstairs. So I think there's about 100 and something in terms of accommodation here on this level, and about 200 and something upstairs. But it has been configured in such a way that everything is connected. And you can see the screens. I can see everybody upstairs. Whoever is presiding can see everybody upstairs, and you can see everybody downstairs.
Officials of the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, responsible for the renovation, revealed that the initial 600-seat capacity of the lower chamber will be reduced to 560 seats to enable free in and out movement of lawmakers from their seats. The chairman, implementation and monitoring committee of the project, as well as the project engineers, also spoke with newsmen during the speaker's inspection.
The total cost of the project is 11.6 billion, and the estimated duration is 104 weeks. And if you divide that, it's almost 2 years. And right now, we have done about 50-something weeks. And by the grace of God, we will meet our target.
This complex, which also has pocket of spaces for recreation during work, to create a micro environment for the building. We don't intend to solely depend on mechanical lighting and ventilation. It's an open office concept. We have a lot of natural lighting and ventilation that will go into the building.
It will be recalled that the National Assembly Commission complex was conceived as far back as 2011 at the cost of 3.5 billion naira. President Muhammadu Buhari had on December 16, 2019, approved the sum of 37 billion naira for the renovation of the National Assembly complex, which includes the lower and upper chambers.
And on the foreign scene, Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russia's Vladimir Putin, and leaders from India and Central Asian nations are in Uzbekistan on Thursday for a summit of a security group formed by Beijing and Moscow as a counterweight to U.S. influence. The meeting of the eight-nation Shanghai Cooperation Organization comes at a time when Putin is isolated abroad following his invasion of Ukraine. Beijing's relations with Washington, Europe, Japan, and India are strained by disputes over technology, security, and territory. The event in the Asian Sultanate of Samarkand is part of Xi's first foreign trip since the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic over 2 years ago, underscoring Beijing's desire to assert itself as a regional power. According to the Russian president's foreign affairs advisor, Putin and Xi were due to meet one-on-one and discuss Ukraine. And that's it on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.